Your nation, your news. One American News Network.
Imagine a world where your phone isn't a tool or a toy. It's a corporate wiretap that you pay for, where your private chats become Silicon Valley gold. Now imagine the invasive corporate espionage supercharged by cutting-edge AI surveillance technology. Your life becomes searchable data, forever stored on servers owned by corporations that you never consented to trust. That world isn't coming. It is already here. The days of privacy are dead, and it is not some distant Big Brother fantasy. It's not even the government. It's big tech, big data brokers, and Silicon Valley giants working in lockstep, transforming AI surveillance into a trillion-dollar business, all at the direct expense of your privacy, your autonomy, and your freedom. Joining us now, Freedom Chat CEO Tanner Haas. So, Tanner, what should we know about the intersection of AI technology and digital surveillance?
Well, first off, Matt, thank you so much for having me on. AI is today portrayed as convenience. We're helping you. But there's also a side to it that most people don't understand, which is when AI comes into your life, usually your privacy decreases. And what that means is AI needs data, more data. That data often comes from your private conversations. And so people, little do they know how much this is invading their personal life, where I think it's a crisis, actually, to be quite honest with you. And it's invading people's privacy more than they actually know.
And how does your company address this challenge in the digital landscape?
So Freedom Chat is a private social messenger. We believe in true privacy. And what that means is end-to-end encryption. No one under any circumstances can read your message, as it should be. We don't store messages on our server, and we have absolutely no commercial use of user data. So if you look at WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp says end-to-end encryption, but they store every single message on your server. And then recently, they've added AI into people's private conversations, and they've actually started to analyze conversational flows.
Let me ask you,
verbiage.
Yeah, that sounds like it will shock many people who do not believe that that's happening when they go end to end. How many points of data do you think data brokers have on an average American?
Well, let's say they have the political affiliation, financial information, your first name, last name, email address, social security, your credit card information. Like, it's not a coincidence that credit card scams are up. Social security numbers. I think there was a company that said they leaked every single American social security number, and AI phishing attempts are up 400% year over year. So they like to put people in boxes based on their political affiliation, and we've seen how that's played out, where somebody's had a conversation leaked from 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and it is really concerning. It's really troubling, and these companies are not as honest as they appear to be. Like Signal, for example. Did you know that Signal's chairwoman of the board is the CEO of NPR? There's a little conflict of interest there.
Yeah, I'll be really worried if all of a sudden NPR gets a drop on a bunch of stories that people are talking about on Signal. Let me present the other argument that some technology companies made to me when I was in Congress. They would say, well, this makes things better for the consumer. If we know more about people's needs, then we will be able to serve them better, and then our application will be more attractive because it is more useful to the person who has it.
I have a counter argument to that, and it's a book called The Anxious Generation, and we can look at, since the rise of social media companies, since the rise of messaging, people's mental health is declining. It's getting worse and worse. These companies feed you an algorithm that keeps you on the app, keeps you scrolling, takes you away from your friends, family, God, where we're intended to focus. So I would take the argument and say, no, it's actually not beneficial. It's killing people. It's killing the very essence of our souls, what it means to be an American, what it means to be God-fearing. That's my very powerful counter argument to them.
I think it is a compelling one. What do you think can stop this?
I think people need to align themselves with companies that actually represent their values, not just what they stand for. But on the privacy front, I believe privacy is a fundamental human right. And I want to grow up in a world where my son can message me and nobody else is going to see it. He's 10 months, so hopefully we've got a while. But I think consumers need to wake up a little bit. When AI enters your conversations, your privacy goes out the door. And we need to hold these companies accountable. And I think you did a great job when we need more people like you in Congress, to be honest. So I think it's going to take a legislative side, but we also, individuals, consumers, hold these companies accountable, get them out of your private conversations, use something like Freedom Chat, where nobody, under any circumstances, can see what you're saying. That's how it's supposed to be. It's your conversations, your privacy, and we're here to give that back.
Do you think most Americans know that they're actually the product?
I do not, unfortunately, and that's a very strong. It's an opening statement. If you're not paying for something, you are the product. Point blank. And people need to wake up to that fact. Their data is worth more than they know. It's keeping the lights on. It's making Google a $4 trillion company. Your data specifically, your conversations on WhatsApp. And people need to wake up to this fact, realize that this is it's a crisis. If you have no privacy, you have no freedom. You have no privacy, you cannot speak freely. And we've seen how this has played out, where it's used against people because of their political affiliation.
No,
and
it's totally
they're
true.
Attacked.
Yeah, it's totally true. And I think we talk a lot about the parallel economy emerging and people making these choices that are aligned with their values and their expectations. Tanner Haas, CEO of Freedom Chat, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me on, Matt.
Thank you.